Welcome to the GSD with Jeni podcast, where we talk about how to overcome all the stuff that gets in the way of getting shit done. Imposter syndrome, fear, money, relationships, networking, building businesses. We're going to talk to experts, or as I say, mavens, that provide practical and tactical advice on how to GSD. I'm your host, Jeni Buchholz, founder and CEO of Haven Creative. I started my business with $300 in a laptop and grew it to a team of Haven mavens, serving clients around the world and generating over 7 figures in revenue. I'm incredibly proud of the success we've had, but I still need help too. So I started this podcast with the intent to dive deeper into the things that hold us back from achieving our goals. So thank you for joining me on this journey to GSD. Let's get started. Welcome to GSD with Jeni. Today's guest is Rocky Garza. For over a decade, Rocky has worked with executives, founders, and senior leaders at companies like Microsoft, Zillow, and the Los Angeles Rams with the same approach in every setting. He doesn't tell you what a great leader looks like. He reminds you of what you look like as a great leader. His keynotes, coaching, and identity mapping methodology are built on a single conviction. The leaders who change rooms are those who stop trying to sound like someone else. His approach is direct, human, and earned. Before this work, he was a camp director, a pastor, and a co-founder of many businesses. Every chapter in his life has been teaching him the same thing. People don't need more strategy. They need permission to lead like themselves. Rocky is based in Dallas, spends most of his free time with his family, and stands behind the same truth without apology. You are good. I've been really looking forward to this conversation, so let's get started. Rocky, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I've really been looking forward to this conversation ever since I heard you speak. Something you said really resonated with me. It was something along the lines of a family dinner or friends dinner, and the conversations about how you value authentic connections and radically candid conversations. And I was like, oh, me too. I want him in my circle. I want to talk to him on the podcast because I want to do a deep dive on how we overcome all the things, of course, that get in the way of us achieving our dreams. But I want to back up first and understand what led you to this work and why is that such a strong conviction for you, authenticity?
Yeah, I think that, one, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It was great to meet you as well. And when you made the ask even there, I was like, yes, absolutely. Let's do it. And so I appreciate being here. I think, and this is like me from my perspective, not a statement about anybody else out in the world who shows up as a leader, as a person, as a friend, as a human, we can go through all those things. The job that I have, right, how I landed into the profession that I have is because it has been a lived and it is an active, present, living exercise since I'd say my whole life, but everyone's going to argue and be like, you didn't do anything when you were 2. But I would probably say the 3 to 4 range, I would go back and argue no, probably right in that window, 3 to 4 to 5 until today. I'm 43. It has been a lived experience daily of going, who am I? Where do I show up in the world? How do I create some kind of impact? And let me be very clear, that impact has always not been some very nice, clear, change the world, help people. Some days in my 20s, there were days I'm going to make an impact, which was how am I going to go get what I want at the expense of anybody else because you can't show me that I can't. So but I think if we whether we go to 100,000 feet or we say let's go down into the root, whichever analogy makes sense for the person listening. My whole life has been this experience of going, who am I? Where do I fit? Where do I belong? And even though I'm the guy whose my job is to work with teams and leaders and people to help you figure out where are you and where do you belong, I am not qualified in my expertise of the subject to help an individual get there because I have arrived. I am an experiential living person, a liver, if you will, of the experience. I'm just a human in the experience with you. However, I have a hyper focus on what that is and what that looks like. And I have the 2 decades of experience of doing that with and alongside people of all kinds of industries. So my career path has not been traditional. I'm probably the only career consultant, corporate consultant that doesn't have a resume. I've never had a real job.
I doubt that.
I worked at a summer camp. I was a pastor at a church. I started my own business. My wife is a photographer. And then this started, 10, 15, whatever years ago. So I've been a coach before coaching was cool. Like before it was a thing to do because you had one successful quarter. I've
Oh,
always been a carer of people, I think, but because I deeply wanted to be cared for. So I'm trying to help others see and discover if I could like synthesize it all. And maybe this can, I guess, be the crux of where we go today.
yeah.
I just want to discover, what does it mean to just be human? What does it mean to daily show up on a regular basis in any and every aspect of my life, personally, professionally, intimate? What does it mean to just be human? And when it's really great, just be human. And when it's so hard because life is hard, just be human. And the days that we go, and I can't wait to crush it. My leads are in line. I sent out 3 invoices. I'm ready to just be human. Just know that there's a person on the other end of that transaction. And then on the days you get 4 no's, just be human. You're going to wake up and try it again. And I'll stop talking in a second. There's a
Yeah,
practice
that's
I
great.
started about 1.5 years ago, because about almost 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, my life kind of business and had a bunch of things happen and everything went to zero and started all over and got to figure it out again. And as any entrepreneur would tell you, welcome to the club.
Mhm.
And I started this practice probably 1.5 years ago. So about halfway through this, all ended and sort of rebuild. And I woke up one day, it was the end of the month, and I thought, man, it was a great month. And I thought, wait, how did I get here? Because like 5 of these things that happened, I did on the first of this month, they were like not in the pipeline. They were not in the, I didn't know them. I hadn't talked to them. I didn't know the email was coming. And so I've started the end of every month of going, okay, what is everything that happened this month that was not on my radar on the beginning of the month that has in fact happened in the last 30 days? Good, bad, and different, everything. Because what it's done is it's allowed me to go, okay, if I'm just be human, the next 30 days, something incredible is going to happen,
Mm.
because it has. I have proof on proof on proof to show that every month something crazy happens that I didn't know was going to happen. That if I can just be human, when it's baseball practice, go to baseball practice. Like yell loud at the baseball tournament, throw the baseball in the front yard, stay up later than you should,
Yeah.
eat ice cream, like just be human, because tomorrow, if we get a chance, there's going to be another incredible just be human opportunity for us to be able to live into. And so that's a very long answer to your very simple question, which is like, how did you
No,
get
I
into
love
this?
that.
But I think all of that sort of rolls together for me.
There's so many great layers in there. When you're saying just be human, I'm also hearing be present, be authentically in the
Mm,
moment. And sometimes I find it's hard to be present as an entrepreneur, mother, or wife. I'm thinking about the next thing. And so one
mm,
of my mantras the last 30 days has been be present, be where your feet
mm,
are, right? Really be
mm,
in that moment. And you're right. I think the more present I am, the more authentic connections happen and conversations happen. Like on the airplane last night of a stranger that I could have easily put my headphones on, I have a conversation and it led to connections. And we were like, oh, we have mutual people in common. And so
mm.
I hear a lot of things in the be human
Yeah.
thought that you just,
Yeah. And,
yeah.
and I think that, but I think what you described though, is there's a level, yes, presence. I could not agree with you more. So I'm going to say that. But I think if we give ourselves permission to be present, I think the result of that is that proactivity is a byproduct of us being present, where reactivity is a byproduct of us not. And
Mm,
when we're not present, we live in this reactive state because we're forever looking for the next fire that's going to happen. So we're forever looking for something to be wrong so we can solve problems we don't have, as opposed to being present and addressing the ones that we do.
hmm.
And so I think like proactivity is a byproduct of presence. It's not the other way around. I think we think, well, let me be proactive. And if I'm proactive and I get it all done, then I can be present. But we're going in the wrong direction.
Also, get it all done doesn't exist, right?
Well,
Like,
I mean, are you kidding me? What is that? My Monday board right now has I have
yeah.
so many things that are not done. And guess what? They won't be. They won't be
Yeah, and
because I put up too many automations that tomorrow there's going to be 5 more. So I mean,
sure,
it's my fault. I did it to me.
I do the same thing, and this is a great segue into the get shit done. So I wanna clarify something for anyone that's new to listening to this. Getting shit done is not about checking things off a box. Like, I don't believe your output is, "Oh, how many things did I produce today?" It's, "How do I get out of my own way?" I believe
Mm,
what makes me sad is looking at a graveyard of empty ideas that never really came to fruition because someone was blocked, whether that
mm,
was, I believe we are our biggest barriers, right? So head trash, imposter syndrome, some of the things you talk about, and being able to get out of our own way. And so you work with a lot of leaders. How do you help them get out of their own way, if you will, to get shit done? Or what does get shit done mean to you?
Yeah, yeah. Um, One is this is maybe sound a little cliche. A part of my job is to be the unbiased third party. That I had a client tell me, it's been a couple months ago, and he said one thing that I appreciate about our ability to maintain the relationship we have is that I often sit down and I think what I want to ask you is, what should I do? And instead, what we come to find out is I'm actually asking you, can you help me discern why I chose what I already have? And what I
Mhm.
mean by that is I think oftentimes my role as a coach, as a consultant, my friends, my kids, rarely am I meeting with anyone and going, here's what you should do.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm fighting for my life over here. I don't know what you should do. I'm trying to figure out what I should do. What do you mean, what
Right.
should you do? That's like, this is
Yeah,
crazy.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But could I allow us to be truthful enough today? Can I grant you the permission? That's my word right now, that I feel like in the last year or so across industries, across executive levels, the word permission seems to be the most relevant term I can come up with. That I think me too, we're looking for permission
Yeah.
to tell ourselves the truth and to not immediately judge ourselves based on what we think we should have done or we were supposed to do, so we can actually just look at it clearly. I'm not trying to rid us of emotion. I'm not trying to go over stoicism and say be neutral and nothing matters. And I cry all the time. I was trying to talk to the two kids yesterday after our baseball tournament because they were awesome. I was trying to talk to them and their dad. I couldn't even get it. That's not what I mean. But if I can tell myself the truth, and if I can sit with the truth, both of the decisions I have made and the opportunity I have to make a new decision, not good, not bad, not right, not wrong, just what is. I think that's how I find often that we help leaders get out of their own way, is that we have to remove all of the things that are distracting us before we can put any good things in. And oftentimes I think we get it backwards. We want
Yeah.
to go find more good things because we feel overwhelmed. We want to bring those into the fold, only to come to find out we're trying to pour them on top, but there's already a lid on the cup. It's already full. And so all the good things we do, they just fall off the side. And we wake up in 2 days and we go, I did so many new good things on Monday. Where are they?
Mhm.
Well, there was no room for them to fit in your day to day because we didn't do any work to try to extract the things that are actually causing chaos in our life. I think oftentimes we think peace is the addition of things that I love, when in reality, peace is just the ability to remove chaos.
Oh, yes. I couldn't resonate with that more, but it's the shoulds, right? Like, I'm always like, "Stop shitting on me." Like, it's just, can we
Mhm,
stop shitting on each other? But
mhm,
I definitely shit on myself more than anyone else does to me, and you're right, I think that I do the, "Oh, I should cold plunge. I should eat this. I
yep,
should do this by this time," and now that I freed up time here, let me go ahead and have it stack all this crap, and what I'm doing is not, I'm adding on more, like you just said, that doesn't actually flow with how my house operates. Like, I don't
mhm,
wanna work out at 7 a.m. That
mhm,
doesn't naturally go with my flow, and maybe cold plunging's not for me. You said something during this session that also was a light bulb. It was like looking at your calendar, and does it reflect the things that you actually value?
mhm.
And tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a habitual calendarer, if that's a real term.
It is right now.
Anything that I want to do that is valuable to me, I do my very very best to put it into my calendar. When we're in the summer now, so let's go to school time. Like, okay, take kids to the bus. That's in my calendar. What time we leave and what time I'm done. And then on Mondays and Fridays are my sort of internal days. I do most of my coaching Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So there's chunks on Monday and Friday morning that is just called thinking time. And so I purposely don't come to my office. I go to a coffee shop that's down the street. I know if I get there about 7:20, I have until about 8:15 of no one's going to talk to me. I got about an 8:15 to 9 window where like 70% of people coming in, I'm going to know, but am I going to give them like a good to see you? Or am I like, hey, how was your weekend? But I know that's a part. Like, it's a part of my Monday. It's a part of like feeling myself out for the week to get it going. And I, like you, I'm not going to work out at 5:45. I don't want to work out at 5 o'clock in the morning. That sounds absolutely miserable to me.
Totally.
And like, I want to take my kids to the bus, and it doesn't work for me. I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. to work out, to come home, to get ready, I'm not doing that. So I look at my calendar, and if for me, when I put everything in there, I color coordinate it. Okay, this is client work. This is internal work. This is a sales call. This is a speaking event. This is so that I can look at it. Dan Martell has a great, incredible book. I'm sure if people listen to your podcast, they've read the book, Buy Back Your Time. But there's a beautiful exercise he has in there. And that's really where the idea and thought came from, is going, if I could look at my calendar, right? It's just a representation of what I've already chosen to do with my time. Time is the number one currency that I have to give anywhere. Anyone who says you're in a business right now and you say, I need more time, you should be saying, I need more team. You don't need more time. We're just inefficient with our time. So you need more team. I can't afford more team. Then you need to raise your prices. I mean, it's a very easy math scenario we can work here to get us to where we want to be when it comes to a business perspective. But I can look at my calendar. Show me your calendar. I can tell you what's important to you. I can show you what's a priority. And if you tell me, this is my own soapbox, so you don't have to, no one has to agree with me because we all have our own opinions. But if you tell me that your life is out of balance, out of tension, you don't like it, you work too much. Oh, but I'm doing it for my family. No, you're not.
Right.
You're just not. And then there's a portion. Sure. I go to work because I want to pay my bills and I like my kids to eat food. I hear you. But if it is so out of balance, out of choice, not necessity. If you're listening to this and you say, Rocky, I got to go work the double shift to pay my rent because it's just me and my kids, I'm not talking to you. You do have to go to work. You are correct. Okay. So that's not what I'm saying. But if we're talking about those of us that had chose to have a business and we chose entrepreneurship, or we chose a corporate gig, or we chose to have a job, and then we put in double the effort, double the work, and double the hours while complaining about it, but we say it's for them, it's not. It's for you. Just say it's for you. You'll be a lot happier if you just say it's for you. And if you were to tell yourself the truth, I guarantee you'll begin to make decisions differently if you'll start saying, I work more than I want because I want to, than saying I work more than I want, but it's for my family. Because the but just nullifies everything that you said prior to that.
Yes.
So just tell the truth.
So how does someone find out why they're doing these things? Like you say, tell the truth, but how do I recognize the truth? How do I know that I'm a workaholic because I'm actually trying to fulfill some deep-seated thing that production makes me lovable?
Yeah. I think most of us who are asking ourselves the first question, well, how would I know? Already know. And now I think there's layers. You and me, I'm assuming we've done work along our way and along our life and along our journey, along our path, and asked people, had mentors, maybe a coach, maybe a therapist, maybe a counselor, maybe we have
Oh,
had,
I paid a shit
like,
ton of money, Rocky,
well,
to
I'm
fix
telling you right now, girl, I'll tell you right now, you got me just go ahead and kind of tap to pay, right? It's a lot easier. We can just, I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think oftentimes I find we can tend to overcomplicate it, right? It's how does it go? If you're the kind of parent that's asking the question, man, I hope I'm doing it right.
Oh, then
You're probably not doing it wrong, right?
yeah, you
So
actually care because
yeah.
shitty parents don't ask. Or am I a shitty parent? Yeah.
So if you're a person, a human, if you're an individual who loves people, family, relationships, and work, and you're asking yourself the question, I'm doing a thing that I don't know that I want to be doing. How would I know? You just know. You just said it. You just said I'm doing a thing I don't know that I want to be doing. I find this is not. I'm not trying to skirt your question. I think maybe this will lead us to a place of some level of resolution. Yeah. But I have found in the last, I'm going to go 5 years, a decade, somewhere in that range, that individuals 25 to 40 love. I'll go 25, 45. That put me. I'm going to put myself in the bucket.
Oh,
25,
man, I love the bucket.
25 to 45. Okay.
Yeah.
That we love to be aware. We are obsessed with awareness. We want to know why anything and everything is the way that it is. But if I sort of go through some layers to go, okay, well, maybe step 1 is awareness. Maybe step 2 is admittance. And maybe step 3 is acceptance. And then maybe step 4 is action.
That's what I was waiting for you to say.
So I think we are obsessed with awareness. I just don't know. It's the amount of leaders that go, I just been doing this for 2 decades. I don't know why people don't seem to respond. And I go, hey, I think they're not responding because if you would give as much energy to taking responsibility for your impact as you give to defending your intention, do you know how much greater of an impact you could have as a leader? Yeah, but I just don't know why they take it that way.
They.
Okay, listen, they take it that way because you're a jerk and you think your way is right and you preach empathy, but you haven't listened to feedback in a decade. Oh, they're that way because this is just who I am. Oh, I see now. I'm just not empathetic. Oh, well, they just need to figure it out then because I have a hard time in relationships because my dad like really wasn't around. Oh, so now I know. And so you to sort of use the phrase authenticity as an excuse. But I think the 25 to 45, we're so obsessed with awareness. We want to know everything. But are we willing to admit what that actually means about us? Are we willing to accept that there needs to be a change if we desire a relationship? And then are we willing to change our actions once we have clarity about what the hell is actually going on? And I think for lots of us, at times, me too, the answer is no. We feel justified in our awareness because now that I know why I do what I do, you're responsible for changing your behavior if you want to be around me. I'm not responsible for changing my behavior if I want to be around you. And I think there's a place in that. So you can sort of come full circle. What do we do? How would we know, Rocky? I think I think we are so much smarter than we give ourselves credit for. I think our bodies tell us so much more than we ever listen to. But I think we're obsessed with awareness because we want to use authenticity as an excuse to maintain my behavior and make it your fault rather than making an acceptance that maybe life is not meant to be lived here or to be lived here. Maybe life is intended to be somewhere in what I refer to as the radical middle. What if it's all true? What if, in fact, your dad was a jerk and it caused you trauma and pain of love and acceptance, and you're arrogant and isolated and you refuse to believe that anything is your fault because you've built a life blaming everybody else? What if those are both true at the same time? Because if one is true, the other has to be. Otherwise, we're fools. It can't just be one or the other. It has to be both, but that's radical. We think this is radical. We think over here, I'm right. That's radical. We think, no, over here, I'm there. This is supposed to be this way. It's no, calm down. The craziest thing you could do is to shut your mouth, listen to another human being, and ask yourself repeatedly, am I listening to convince or am I listening because I want to converse? And the moment you stop conversing and you begin convincing, you no longer desire to be in a relationship. You desire to be right. And rarely have I found relationships thrive when the intention is to be right.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because one of the things you said too, I had written on a post-it here, take less effort defending what is meant versus taking responsibility for impact. That stuck with me. It's like often earlier in my 20s and 30s, I wanted to be right so bad because I was quieted as a kid or whatever, and I just like, no, I have to be right. I'm fighting for the right. And I was like, why? Why is that so important to me? And you're right. I think awareness is a huge piece of the work I've done, but then having to realize, wait, I've been playing the victim and I'm finger pointing. And, every time you point a finger, three are pointing back at you. Oh, I need to do the work. And I think that you're stuck in this area of awareness. How many books have you read, but you're not doing anything with it? How many things you go through, but you're not doing anything? And I think that's the piece that I want to help people get that momentum to move forward. But when we talk about, let's say you do move forward and you're an achiever. And I know I've talked to hundreds of entrepreneurs at this point. An achiever tends to be in the top 5, Gallup Strength Finders thing for them. When is that a value versus I have to achieve, like going back to my love is based on whatever I've produced for the day. I think I asked you this question in that session too, is like that struggle of like, am I an achiever? Is that okay? Or am I trying to get validation?
I think it's a great question. I mean, I think not trying to oversimplify it, but I think you asked the right question. Am I achieving because back up. I literally got an email an hour ago from an executive at one of the organizations I consult with. And we had a coaching session last week or 2 weeks ago and talking through and his desire to work hard and put in extra hours and extra effort. And he'd make sure the executive team knows, hey, leaving to go to lunch. Hey, I'm going out this way. I mean, every move he makes sure, and they work remotely, but he makes sure everybody knows exactly where he is, when he's available and when he's not. And to a little bit to where it's like, hey, bro, just go to work. Like we get it. Like we get it, you know? So he and I were talking through that. And so we kind of landed at a place. He said, I've been spent my whole career. He's in his late 50s. He said, I've spent the last 2 to 3 decades working as hard as I can, going above and beyond because I believed my determination and my work ethic would prove itself such that I would not have to ask for what I wanted because I assumed that people would recognize it. And so I said, are you telling me that you have worked really hard? And he said, so I wait and I just wait. And he says, I feel like I've been waiting my whole career. And I said, are you working hard because you need the external validation from somebody else to give you permission to go ask for what you want? Or are you expecting that because you work harder, longer, faster, whatever the way you want to describe it, that your value is based on somebody else's ability to recognize it? And if no one can recognize it or recognizes it, then you must not be doing enough. And neither one of those have anything to do with what's actually true about you. You've given all the weight and power to somebody else to make a determination about what your value is. And so I think to your point, is achievement a core value? Is it an action? Is it a characteristic? Is it a quality? Is it a detriment? We could go through it. Well, I don't know. I think it's a great question. Asking the question lends it to go, is achievement, is accomplishment a core tenet of who you are? If there was only 5 things in the world you could choose to love, is achieving something one of the things that you love? 1 out of 5. If the answer is yes, great, chalk it up. It's a great core value. There's nothing wrong with it. If it is a component of self-worth and value, is it a label by which we wear as a badge of honor rather than a brick in the foundation that we walk on that we're building? Are we wearing it as a badge to hope other people go, hey, I saw the achievement, good job. And we go, oh, phew, I'm worth it finally, thank you. Or do we put it as a brick in the foundation? We stand on it every day because it's a component of what makes us want to show up and get things done and value. And both of those are good and both of those can be right. Both of those can be true. We're not looking for the right answer. We're just looking for the real answer. We're looking for the human answer. There are seasons of life where I am more accomplishment oriented. I'm more achievement oriented than I am in others, just because it's that season, right? There's an late Q4, early Q1, your boy is on the horse because we're got to make sure, are the contracts, are we going to renew? Are we looking for new people? What are we doing? We get around spring break. Get me out. Let me go on the vacation because we got the contracts in and people are signed up and we know we're moving. It's been a heavy 2.5, 3 month lift. I'm out. Hey, take a break. I'm going to see you. But that doesn't mean I don't like achievement anymore. It doesn't mean that I don't want to get work done. It just means that I did it. And now what I want to achieve is the beach. Technically, what I want to achieve is an infinity pool on the beach. I don't want to get in the sand, but I do want to see the ocean. But that's neither here nor there. So I think those are ways in which sometimes asking the question, giving ourselves permission to ask the question is way better than attempting to find the answer.
Yes. So when I asked myself that question, I realized to me, it's not so much the award and the recognition. I do genuinely enjoy checking something off for the day. It can be as simple as organizing the pantry. And I'm like, yeah, I did it. So you talk a lot about leading like you, not like them. And I think about my early career and I didn't understand leadership at all. I certainly wasn't trained to be a leader. I was thrown in a management position without any training. How does one know when their leadership behaviors become themselves, and not someone else's? And what is that distinction?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, again, like I feel like I sound like a broken record. I feel like,
Asking the question, right?
I feel like you did like that, just like you did. Hey, am I doing this because I believe this to be in alignment? But we'll give something more practical. So here's sort of how I would know in myself is I think that the language around core values and people can like it, not like it, be it cheesy, not cheesy. If it's just words, they're just words we're giving ourselves in order to give ourselves some clarity. I think core values, when we define them for ourselves, and we have clarity of what those are, is the first litmus test to allow us to know whether or not, am I leading like me or am I leading like them? Because if we're honest about what our values are, and we can get clarity around those 3, 5, 7, how many values you want. I suggest 5 because it's easy, but 3, 5, 7, somewhere in there.
Mhm.
If you can get clarity around those words, then you have a very easy filter to go, on a daily basis, I make leadership decisions like A, B, and C. Let me see if it matches who I say that I am. If we go, wow, it's interesting. No, the answer is no. I made a lot of decisions last week that don't align with any of these. Sounds to me like you could be leading like them.
Hmm.
Okay, you know what? I made a lot of decisions this week. They are perfectly in alignment with this. Sounds to me like you're leading like you. And I think the distinction why I go that way with values is because often I feel like where we get confused is I believe that we lead based on our values. So Rocky as a leader is going to lead based on what I value most. And if
Yeah.
people have values alignment, they will follow. They will come alongside me. They will, whatever language we want to use.
Right.
But if I'm going to develop and coach someone else, then I have to coach them with their values, not my own. And so I think where leadership gets this like hierarchy of encompasses everything. Well, if I can get my own values, well, I lead like me and I coach like me and I talk like me and I have meetings like me and I like me. Well, how do you expect to develop somebody else if the only framework you're using is the one that you value for you? Well, what about the one they value for them? And that creates this distinction to go, well, I lead with my values, but I coach you with yours. And so if someone is feeling as though, do I lead like me or have I sort of absorbed by the chameleon effect of whatever room I go into, I can be like whoever the room needs me to be to make sure they're happy. Well, I would encourage you to go, what are your values? You can go to Google and type in core values list. You can go to rockygarza.com/values and there's a PDF and a video and it's all free. We don't sell any of that. Just go have it, take your team through it, take your family through it. I'm sure go to YouTube. I'm sure there's 1,000 YouTube videos around how to do your core. I mean, go ask Claude. Claude will probably tell you what they are right now. You don't have to do any work because you probably are talking to it enough anyway, right? So I think there's enough in there. But I think that's the ability to have some kind of language. I think I've never met a human being who didn't know who they are. I've met tens of thousands of human beings who didn't have the language to describe who they were in a way that's understandable. And so I think sometimes we fight for the wrong thing. I got to go take a class, a workshop. I got to go figure out who I am. Nah. I think you need to stop long enough and ask yourself enough questions to
Yep.
get clarity around a language for what you already know to be true.
To your point, we don't all have the words or the framework for that. And one of my favorite exercises actually is when I hire people, the first thing I do in the interview is help them uncover their core values. And we
Mm.
have a way that we discover those as well. And it's created some really cool conversations, whether or not that person even comes to work for Haven. And they usually send me a note afterwards thanking me for getting their
Mm.
own clarity out of the conversation, which is really cool to hear. But I hear this often too in we do branding work, so we create values for the company. And
Mhm.
people go, "Well, what if my values are different than that company?" And I think it's okay if the way that you lead, right? Your values might be different than the company's values as long as somewhere there's an alignment with purpose and your
Yep.
why. But curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it would be that an absolutely horrific company to work for if every human being had the exact same set of 5 values, which were the exact same 5 as the company. That sounds like a cult. Like
Boring, right?
that doesn't
Yeah.
sound enjoyable to me at all. We're gonna all be the same, believe exactly the same, and do the same to the
It's a good
same end.
goal.
Feels like I don't want to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
not great.
Feels like a
Not a
cult. Like a
great opportunity for me. So I think, to your point, like, yes, let's get rid of the, like, we all have to think the same way. No, we don't.
Mhm. Yeah.
From my perspective, I greatly appreciate that, Rockefeller habits and EOS and traction and VTO. And there's a variety of things out there that are sort of tools that way. What I do appreciate is I love that Rockefeller has their sort of, I think they call it their one page. EOS has the VTO.
Yep.
There's a variety of ways to do that. And so, but I think the purpose of that document is to give us sort of a North Star, to give us something that all of us as an individual in our own seat with our own values, our own worth, our own purpose, our own drive, our own desire can look at something and go, I believe in that. I
Mhm.
believe that if we do it the right way, we trust, do our best with excellence. We care for people the way we would ourselves, and we make sure that it's right every time. I'm making it whatever our core value company values would be. I believe in that. And to me, my personal values are my litmus test for am I showing up true to myself? A company's core values are the litmus test to whether or not I am showing up for the purpose of the organization on a daily basis. And most conflict inside work, inside companies, is not a personal thing. We make it personal because it makes it easier to deal with. We makes us feel better about ourselves. I don't know why we make it personal. I guess because we're all looking to be right, I guess. It's not personal. You either are or you are not doing your job, and it either is or is not in the direction of who we say we are as a business. It's very simple, not easy, but it's very simple. They should never be personal. And if it's personal, we should know. And then that's something we should deal with that has nothing to do with the job place at all. It has to do with that one of us is a jerk, and we got to figure out how to not be a jerk to people. That's the issue. That's nothing to do with your KPIs are wrong. Technically, my KPIs are KPIing. They're looking pretty good. But you're a jerk when you do it. Okay, we can have that conversation because our second core value that says to be kind, love others, and care first, we're not exemplifying. Yeah, but I'm a great worker. You're a cancer. We got to get you out of here because you're not helping us get to where we want to be. So I think there's this place that where the who I am gets to be true towards the end of what I've agreed upon to say who we are as an organization. And so without company values, without the ability for mission, vision, value, whatever it is we want to say, then what are we all looking at? A person? Because that's called founder syndrome, and it doesn't go well. So I don't want to follow a person. I don't want to follow another individual's viewpoint. I want to say, who are we? Where are we going? And then in my performance reviews and my monthly one-on-ones and my weekly check-ins and my Monday standing meeting and are we all pointing ourselves back to the same thing? Because that's how we're going to measure the success of our organization, is that a collective group of individuals has a common purpose that we show up for on a daily basis in order to achieve a common goal over a 30, 60, 90, 365-day period. Because technically that's just all business is. And so are they supposed to align, agree, be the same? I hope not. But if you can't get behind ultimately that being our guiding light, then it's probably not a good fit for you. But the beautiful part about at least my core values list and most that are out there is that all the words are positive, and all the words are positive on purpose, because I don't think there's such thing as a negative value. I think some of us have hurt and pain, and maybe we would choose words because have areas of our life that need to be healed, and there's a traumatic event. And so, but I think values inherently are positive. So I don't think anybody's going to look at another individual and go, now I know the reason. I know the reason why I don't like Jeni. Kindness. That's her value. It's trash. I'm not doing it. Like I don't foresee that. So the values, the conflict of values cannot be the reason we wouldn't care, desire, want to be with someone, to work with someone, to be on the same team as someone. It's typically that we feel like our values are not being seen, or they're being forced to be jeopardized in the benefit of somebody else.
So that's the part I wanted to highlight with what you said, because I do a lot of also speaking on this work and talking about values. And often when there's friction in teams, it's a values misalignment between the individuals, right? So like someone's late to a meeting and this person values, being on time or respecting time. Someone's not owning up or being real in a conversation. Well, they value authenticity. And so usually if we dig down deeper, we can understand where that misalignment is. But back to your earlier point, if we don't have the framework to understand ourselves, it makes the frustration. Well, they're just idiots and they don't understand. They're pointing fingers.
Yes. Yeah. I find, we just relaunched our website, and this is one thing that's written on there. So I'm saying it over. I'm practicing saying it right now to make sure I still like it, but I think I do.
Brand positioning.
Yeah. Make sure I still agree with it. So I just practice it sometimes.
Okay.
Most leadership problems are not strategy problems. They're identity problems. Because you don't need if you have a business, and I hope people can hear this we can all listen to it through a clean lens.
Through my 10 listeners.
Yeah. Like if your company has enough revenue to pay me, any other coach, any other consultant, your company has money to pay your staff and to get help, you don't necessarily have a strategy problem. But if there are things in your business that are not correct, almost always it begins with an identity problem. That someone somewhere believes they are more than they are. Someone somewhere is more than they believe that they are. And somewhere there's a large group of people that are trying to figure out what it all means. And if we can give clarity to identity if we can give clarity to a role, if we can give clarity to strength and to weakness and to opportunity, and if we can give clarity to what is true to just be human, there are so many CEOs that I meet that would love to no longer be a CEO, but they're afraid that if they give it to person A or B, who they know would be much better suited, then who would they be?
Oh, yes. I've heard this many times too on the
And
podcast.
so, like,
Mhm.
I think there's this element to go, hey, what if we address the identity issue first?
Mhm.
I almost guarantee you that the better and more effective and efficient execution of your strategy will be a result.
Mhm.
But if we keep just trying to mess with the strategy and we never address the identity, it's just another document to be printed, to be taped on my desk that I still don't want to accomplish.
Yes, exactly. Awareness, right, leads to what's the other beautiful A?
Yeah, we said awareness leads us to admittance, to acceptance,
And
and
then
then to action.
action. Love that. I wanna talk about a little bit about this confidence and self-doubt, or I'll say fear. Okay, so the thing is, I don't like the term fearless leader. And early on, they're like, "Oh, Jenny, our fearless leader, I'm like, "No, that like, I'm afraid all the time." But what I realized is I kinda shifted that. I'm not really afraid. It's the excitement of the unknown that
Mm,
propelled me forward, and somehow I find courage to push through. So I do go through it. So I
mm,
guess a courageous I don't know. Anyway, I feel like fearless leader is in mask because it's not
mm,
really being true. But there is a side of me that goes, I want to be authentic as I can with my people, but I'm also not gonna go, oh my God, COVID's here. We're going to go out of business. Holy shit. Like I don't want to instill that. So maybe perhaps they see me as fearless.
mm.
Is that a practical mask? Or what's your thoughts? Fearless leader.
Yeah, I also hate the term. So at least we can agree there that we must be right. There's two of us. We must be right. That must be a
Yeah,
bad term.
right.
Um, being without fear is not human. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Um, I don't, I don't even know how we could scientifically argue that it's possible to be human, but to be without fear. That's not, maybe we can, I've heard it said before, I'm a leader who fears less.
Oh,
Someone did a little play on it. I was like, hey, now we're getting a little,
all
we're
right.
stretching it. We're stretching it here. Feels like we have a different way we could say this. It's not so cheesy, but no, I hear you. Uh,
Yeah.
I think the term fearless leader, fearless leadership, however you want to describe it, tends to come from I love the way you said it, from other people's perspective on how they're interpreting our ability to continue and keep the momentum.
Mhm.
To believe that any person who is doing anything outside the norm, extra in any way, has no fear means that you've just never done it. Because
Mm.
it would only take you to do it once, to try it once, to realize, ya boy is a scared shitless. I don't
Yeah,
know
oh,
what
I'm a
else that
shit my
is.
pants, right?
We're just going to keep going. I don't know, but I think though what we're trying to say is that I like the word courage. Courage is the ability to, I would say, this is not Webster's definition. This is just Rocky's definition. Like courage is the ability to take a step forward of any size, regardless of what's in front of me.
Mhm.
Courage is not running through the forest as fast as you can. Courage
Right.
is not blindly chasing something and run into the oblivion because we're just, it's not the Spartans. It's
Like
not
blind.
you're not the last samurai. You're not gladiator. Calm down. You're not. Okay. Okay. You sell advertisement. Be easy. Everybody calm down for a second. Okay. You do Amazon sales. It's not that big a deal. You're a TikTok creator. Okay. Whatever it is, right? Like easy, but it's the ability to go, hey, every day, can I find the courage to take one step forward of any size? Some days it's a baby step, some days it's a giant leap. Regardless of what's in front of me, am I willing to continue towards the path and where I'm going? I do believe that gets perceived as being fearless
Mhm.
because there's a lot of folks out there who don't want to do that. And that's okay. We don't need everybody to do that.
I
Otherwise,
agree.
we would be nowhere. But
Mhm.
I'm not better because I'm willing to take the step sooner. I'm just different because once I've taken a few steps and I can see that it's clear, safe, and we have a place to go, I'm hoping I have 9 other people to come with me to fill in the gap because I'm out. I
Mhm.
don't want to just keep. I am not a good close the looper. That is
Yes,
not my skill set.
same.
carve a pather, see the clearing. This is where we're going to be. Great. Hey, you guys let me know when camp is ready.
And
Your
peace out.
boy's out. I'm going to go see what else I can find. Okay. That's just where, so
Yeah.
yeah, but you're so fearless. No, not technically. I'm bored, really.
Bored?
And I get to where I want to see. And when I see it's possible and it's moving, okay, I'm ready to go see what's next. I'm ready to go out and explore. I've made peace with the fact that I am an initiator. It doesn't make me better. And if you're not one, please don't try to be one. I need you to not be one so that you can actually help us get to where we want to go. I don't know how else to get there. I can see it. I took the first 2 steps, but I took steps -1, 1, and 2. 3 through 8. I need a whole team of people to come in and do 3 through 8. I don't know how to build the village. And then when it's time, the village is built and we're about to put the final tweaks. You need a mayor. We need to do a little celebration and we need someone to say a few words. I'm back. Sign your boy up. Let's go. I can do that. Like, I know where I'm good, but it's not in a lot of places. So I'm not fearless. Nobody is fearless unless they are dead.
Yep.
Everybody carries fear. Some of us are designed to be the initiator of the steps. Some of us are designed to make sure that while we're initiating those steps, we don't die and step off a cliff. And some of us are made that when the clearing is made to come in and do what you do best, which is create a space and environment that other people want to be in. All of those are vital and beautiful.
And I think over time for me, the courage was more consistent because I've been kicked enough where I can ride the roller coaster and I know that I will come back around. And there's some of that, the resilience, I guess, training. And one of the things I fear for my sons is that our generations with AI, everything's so comfortable and easy and quick, and there's not a lot of resilience training and pushing ourselves to know that we can overcome hard shit. What are your thoughts on building resilience for, I mean, your father too, like just around resilience in general?
Yeah. Yeah. It sort of goes the way I think about it. Now we're, I could not be happier with where we're going right now in this conversation.
Okay.
It goes back to sort of like, I think both things have to be true at the same time. And I don't know about you or your history or your past, but I'm going to just make a few guesses and we'll see if you and me are aligned and right. I am so grateful for the resilience training. I love that idea. The resilience training that I had from 4 to 21. Because it absolutely 100% made me who I am today. That kick me in the teeth. And guess what happens if all my teeth come out? Tomorrow, baby, you have to just kick me in the gums. It just is how it is. It's fine. It's going to be okay. I'm used to it. The flip side of that is I am saddened by the mechanisms necessary to reveal such resilience in me that I would never desire those same experiences for my children in the view and the purpose of resilience. So if my resilience was crafted upon reaction and necessity because of the mistakes or ignorance meaning not knowing of others, how would I begin to craft resilience proactively in the confidence and understanding of others in lieu of ignorance? Which means, where am I thinking about my life, my family, my children, and then creating proactive opportunities to do the difficult thing in an environment where I know you won't die. I know you won't be left alone. I know you won't be by yourself. Is it going to be harder? I don't know, because I've never done it. And do I know what I'm doing? Abso-fucking-lutely not. I don't know what I'm doing at all. However, I know that I love my children. I know that I love my son and daughter. I know that I want them to have an absolutely incredible life. And I think that they do. And some things in life have to be learned on your own accord away from your mom and dad. And some things I think we can create experiences for them to learn, but I think it requires us to call in other people to come with us. I think this idea that we could go do it by ourselves and I could take my son or my daughter and I could go teach them resilience with me, What came to my mind when you were thinking this is my son has a few friends that are around the neighborhood and on our baseball team. And I watch the way that their kid, other people's kids listen to me, but then my son listens to a different
Oh,
dad.
yeah.
So, right. Right. So I thought, okay, well, if there was like a Sunday morning workout that we were going to take the dads and the boys, or moms and dads and boys, or I don't know, I remember the damn family going, we want to, I don't know. But I just know if we went over to that one hill by our house and we said that on this Sunday, we're going to run up and down 10 times. And
Yep.
I know for me, I would like to do 5, more than 5. Fuck you. I don't want to do it. So if we're going to do 10, I know I already hate it. I already hate it. I don't want to do it. If it was just me and my son, he would sit at the bottom after 3 and he would be miserable, and he's 10 and he would cry and he would say, I don't want to. And he would say, this is stupid. And why do I do it? And I couldn't come up with a good reason if it was just me and him, because it just seems like punishment. But if his buddies were there and their dads and moms were there, his little sister was there, and it was something we all said we're going to do a hard thing together because we believe it's good for us. Well, I don't know. I never did that. Like, I never stood at the bottom of a hill with 10 other people. And we all agreed we were going to do this thing together. I stood at the bottom of the hill by myself, trying to figure out why I even had to get to the top. And was it worth it? Because every time I got up there, fucking nobody was there anyway. But what if I could get to the top of the hill and I realized I could do it with 10 other people? Maybe resilience out of hardship can be a little bit more synonymous with resilience inside community. And maybe I can teach something to my family, to my children, to myself, as a reminder that there's a different way to achieve a result that I desire.
Yes. Yes.
But it's going to maybe require for me to do something I also have never done.
Beautifully put. And going backwards, yeah, I don't want my sons to go through some of the traumas that I went through to get to where I am, and the abuse and the neglect and whatever, all those things. So how do I help instill resilience? And it can be as simple as taking your 16-year-old to Vegas and making him walk back to the hotel room to get his cell phone. I mean, he was terrified of getting lost. I'm like, whew, this is good for you. Being on a hot airplane for 2 hours with no control over anything. Oh, this is good for you, son. So every time I do these little things, I realize they're building up more resilience of not being in their room with their video games.
Yep. I agree. And that requires, if I'm going to attempt to do something with my family, my children, my friends, my community, myself, that I've never done. I had a mentor remind me one time. He said, just because you're doing it for the first time doesn't mean that you're faking it. It just means that you've never done it before. And so be reminded that there's space to try, and it's not going to be perfect or right. But just because you're doing it for the first time doesn't mean you're faking it. It just means you've never done it before. And so just try it, and then try it again, and then try it again. And at some point you'll find a way to go, I think this is the thing that I was trying to do.
Mm-hmm. You hit on that word. Another thing that I really dislike the phrase "fake it till you make it," because I feel like we're all just figuring it out. Or early in
Yeah.
my career, I mean, like you said, I had to learn. I wasn't faking it. I'm trying it. I'm putting in all effort that I can to learn and craft it better and refine it over time to be more confident and build that thing that I was trying to do, but not faking it. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
A good friend of mine says the only issue with faking it until you make it is that the day you finally make it, you realize you've become something you never were.
hmm, interesting.
And so I think there's an element of that that's be careful. Be
Hmm.
careful.
You also had talked about, when this made me laugh because I think it was also your birthday that day, but, like, I've never been 43 before. Like, you're right. I mean, as a parent, I think as a child, I looked to my parents and like, oh my God, they must know how everything works. They got it all figured out. And now I'm like, holy shit, I don't have any of this figured out. I never had a 16-year-old before. I never had a 12-year-old before. Just
Yeah.
figuring it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's just an element of that we come to believe that those that we admire and are successful have answers that they
Right.
must have that we don't. And so either we go defer to, we must be insufficient and they're better than us, or we go, well, that's because they're doing it wrong and I'll do it my way. And so I'm right. As
Hmm.
opposed to going, hey, what if you just have never have?
Hmm.
How about this? How about you don't know what you're doing? That doesn't mean you shouldn't do something. It just means lower the expectation of rightness and increase the expectation of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's going to be right. I don't know if I'm saying the right thing to these kids in the baseball field. I know that I'm trying to control my face. I know that I'm trying to like not sit on the bucket. And when someone makes a dumbass play, I'm trying not to roll my eyes and take my hat and, oh, what are we? I'm trying. I'm trying to keep it calm and look at you and go, hey, 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 let it go. Let it go. Be a goldfish, baby. Be a goldfish and a duck. A goldfish and a duck. Short memory, let it roll. Next play, new play. We got to go. Keep going.
Yeah.
Man, there's some days I think to myself, like, fuck,
Mm-hmm.
I wish
No, I'm
somebody would.
glad you said that because I think people look too and they'll say to me, "Oh, it must be nice. Oh, you must have it figured out." I'm like, "No, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm literally just trying new things and believing in if we're going to pivot the company. Okay, let's try. I hope this shit works."
Yeah. And I think we forget that's how we got here.
Yeah.
I didn't wake up one day and go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be a coach, a consultant, a
Hmm.
keynote speaker.
Sounds
I'm going
like
to
a
work
good
with
idea.
corporate people. I'm going to have some people that are business goals. I'm going to have this. I might try to create a community. I'm going to do my first event in September. I'm going to invite 20 people to a hotel for 2 days. I'm fighting for my life. And about 9 of the 1,000 ideas I've ever had worked a little touch over average.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them slap, and we keep those going, and those pay our bills.
Yep.
There's 3 things out there I'm really hoping. I've waited 10 years to host my own event. I've been a speaker and an MC and a workshop facilitator for a very long time. I have
Mm-hmm.
waited, we'll go 43. It makes my analogy sound a lot better. I've waited 43 years to host my own event. I want to vomit. Because what if nobody buys a ticket? What if nobody shows up? What
Yeah.
if I pitch it, I sell it, we got it, let's go. And people are like, fuck, I'm not going to that dumb shit. Talk about my feelings and who I am. And tell me how to make my next 7 figures. Oh, sorry, that's not exactly the topic of our conversation. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, but I'm going to try it. You know what? I got to the place I said, but I believe that in person, face to face, small group, intimate events are few and far between. And
Mm-hmm.
so if that's going to be my niche, that people know they're going to come and see me and the group that we're with, no more than 20 people. It's called 48. It's 48 hours of dedicated time to understanding who you are, why that means, where you want to go, and how to build a plan to get there. That's my sweet sauce. So come with me. Come with me and 19 other people and be committed to yourself for 48 hours. I guarantee you can change your life. If you think I'm going to change it, I'll give you a refund. If you think you're capable of changing it, this is the right place for you. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I'm with you. I'm trying it. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if anyone's going to buy a ticket, but if anything else, at least I'll have a lot of really good charcuterie in a hotel for me. So
And either way, you're doing it. It's fun,
that's
right?
right.
You enjoy doing it. So
That's right.
yeah, this is for me at the
That's
end,
right.
right? All right. I want to know a little bit about how who do you turn to for? I
Yeah.
know, I'm sure you get asked this all the time, right? Books, mentors, like what's your motivation? Where does that
Yeah.
come from?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, one is sometimes I get frustrated with the term generational curse or, breaking a generational curse. And not because I think that's not a real thing. It's lived experience for me. I don't ever want my motivation to be, I don't want my motivation to not be something ever to be greater than my motivation to be something. And I think today, I'm finally at a place where I can confidently look in the mirror and say, my motivation to become something is greater than my motivation to prevent something.
Mm,
But it's taken me a long time to get there. For a long time, I did things out of a fear that I would become something I didn't want to be, rather than a pursuit of what I did want to become. Um, you know, um, do I spend more time talking about who I was, or do I spend more time talking about who I'm becoming? Well, if I
yeah.
spend more time talking about who I was, then I'm probably not moving in the direction that I want, or at least not at the speed that I want. So, I obviously, I love my wife, I love my kids, I love my family, I love my community, I love my clients, I love what I do. I mean, I have a great life. I've worked very hard to get to a place to where I can daily, on most days, go, I do want to do this. I do want to make those decisions. I mean, I've got mentors in my life that I talk to and meet with regularly and call and ask questions. I was talk my kids to their grandparents' house for cousin camp, and dropped them off yesterday, and had a 2-hour drive back. And I had a thought come up that I thought, man, I need to kind of figure this out and think through this. And so I called like 3 different people, and I called a really good friend who's older than me and has had an exit in a business. And I asked him a question, and then I called somebody else who's in the industry of a client I'm working with. I was like, hey, they have this request. Am I thinking about this right? Like, I don't know. What is this? And I called 3 different people in 3 different areas of my life that I thought I valued their opinion. I said, here's where I'm at. I have no clue. What do you think? And I spent the drive was so fast because I was on hour and 45 of the 2-hour drive. I was on the phone, just calling people going, hey, here's where I'm at and what I'm thinking. So I think that's valuable and meaningful, those things in my life. There's a really small book called The Lion Tracker's Guide to Life. Like lion, like rare. His name, the author's name is Boyd Varty, Varty. It's a really short, small read. For whatever reason, it just speaks to me. I read it once a quarter. I've read it 15. I don't know. I love it. It's just a really good reminder to me of like sort of getting back to the track that I'm on, the path that I'm on. Am I looking for, there's a phrase in there that I absolutely adore. He says, every day when I wake up, I have no idea where I am going, but I know exactly how I'm going to get there. And it's the idea that I'm just going to look for the next track. And I find a track and we move in that direction. And where's the next track? And we go in that direction. And where we ended up, I couldn't have told you. I don't know where the lion is. Every day, the lion I'm chasing, I don't know where it's at. It's out there in the wilderness. But if I follow the path and the track by track by track, and I listen and I stop and I pause and I take it in, and I will get exactly where I need to be. But if I'm chasing a singular destination, I'm probably going to be wrong. So just follow the next track. And so those are all things that I love. I'm very fortunate. I feel like that a lot of my growth and learning comes because I get to do this. I literally, for 6 hours a day, 3 to 4 days a week, I am with people and leaders and executives talking through the nuances and this intimacy of their own life and stories. And so I am constantly learning. I will hang up and go, damn, I've never thought about it. Like, yeah, boy, it needs to work on that. Like, dang, I didn't write that down in my notes here. So I think there's an aspect of that for me as well. So it's active. It's active. It's just be human.
I was going to say, all that sounds
human.
like it's about your track finding is being human.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
That's really cool. Okay. Finish this sentence. The most important thing I know now that I wish I knew sooner is
that who I am is good. It is not contingent on my performance, my ability to succeed, my capacity to necessarily inherently move my hands or my feet. That who I am sitting solo, isolated in a room, in a chair, totally still, is when I am of my greatest worth and value as a human being. My capacity to take that worth and value and put it into action so that it creates impact in somebody else's life. Well, that requires me to move, but it doesn't change my worth or value. It just takes some of that worth and value and allows me to apply it into the life of somebody else.
Beautifully said. Thank you. Okay. One very, very last question. I think that everyone has some type of hype song. There's probably many, but like this is your get shit done. Maybe you have something that plays before you get on stage. What would be your hype song?
Yes, my hype song is called Monaco by Bad Bunny. And that's going to be where it's just, you get your boy locked in. That's the one that there it is. Here it comes. Now let's go on stage. That's just the default. If anybody ever asked me, hey, we're going to play music. I just spoke at an event last week. And it was like for sure, like fire, sparklers, smoke. Let's go. It was one of the, which is awesome. And you got to come out to a song. That's like that plays, the little intro, the little dun, dun, dun. Okay. If this is what you need, this is what I can bring. So that's for sure my hype song.
I like it. All right. So last, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me at all social platforms. It's just at Rocky Garza, ROCKY GARZA. Instagram, TikTok. I don't have to name them all. We're on all of them. You can find us out there. We've got a podcast called Real with Rocky, and it comes out every Wednesday, where we in-person live interviews. Back up, real in-person conversations with individuals. Our tagline is, if I can find it on the internet, then I don't want to talk about it. So we start every episode with the same question, which is, what's hard in your life right now, to try to have a human conversation around what that looks like or what that means. And so our website is staffretreatco.com. You can hear about coaching, consulting, and so on. And then again, we have our first event coming up September 27th here in Dallas. So if you hear it and you think you're interested, you can go to staffretreatco.com. There's a link down there. You can read all about 48. We've got 20. That's not true. We have 17 spots left because we did in fact sell 3 tickets. So me and 3 people will at least be there. But so would love for anyone who's interested to check that out also.
Love that. Thank you so much, Rocky, for your time and talent today.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
And thanks for listening to GSD with Jeni. If you found this episode helpful, share it with a friend. For more ways to GSD, you can also find me on LinkedIn at Jeni Buchholz, where you can sign up for my Maven Mindset newsletter, or follow me on Instagram at Maven Jeni. Until next time, go GSD, Mavens.